Good morning, student friends. Myself, Dr. B.A. Sonar, Assistant Professor in Botany, ASC College, Ramannagar, Burli. I am going to deliver a lecture on plant growth and development for BSc semester third. Plant growth and development includes the various developmental stages. The plant exhibits growth throughout their life. The growth starts from a fertilized egg, that is zygote, and it produces root, stem, leaf, flowers, and seeds at regular intervals during the process. The duration of this process shows variations and it is associated with genetic characters. The growth is a most and complex process and it results in permanent change in the body. The growth of plant in between initial radical emergence and initiation of the first flower bud is referred to as vegetative growth, while the growth after the production of first floral bud up to the formation or senescent stage is called as reproductive phase. The growth is a complex process because it is cumulative effect of different processes like cell division, cell enlargement, and their differentiation into different types of tissues, which later on develops in the form of different parts of the plant body. Growth in the plant is a permanent change in the size or volume as well as in the dry matter. So, different groups growing parts. The stages which occur during growth together constitute development. The meaning of growth is the advancement towards or attainment towards full maturity or size is called as growth, while the development means a gradual increase in the size, or the word gradual means for an increase in size because it can be evaluated by measuring mass, length, height, surface, area, or volume. In plants, the development of fertilized zygotes cell into a multicellular body having varied forms or shapes of different organs can be considered as a growth. From physiological point of view, growth can be defined as a permanent and an irreversible change in mass, weight, or volume of a living organism or organ or cell. So, during this process of growth in plants, there is a differentiation of tissue due to many biological, biochemical, and metabolic processes. So, this can be a growth, and the growth differentiation are together essential for development of an organism with metabolic and structural complexity. The growth in plant can be attributed to cell division and cell enlargement, emergence of vacuole, increase in cell wall region, increase in amount of protoplasm with increase in raw material and utilization of energy continuously under suitable environment. Example: seed germination, seedling formation. Therefore, the concept of growth includes all three interlinked processes, namely the growth, development, and differentiation. So, the next is the phases of growth. The growth in plants is generally confined to certain regions. The growth in plant is defined in three phases. First phase of cell maturation, cell formation or division. Second one is phase of cell enlargement, and last one is phase of cell maturation. In every cell, the growth takes place with these three aspects, three stages or phases. In every cell is responsible for growth, must pass all these three phases. The daughter cell formed by division of meristematic cell enlarge, mature, and finally bring out visible increase in the size of the plant body or organ. During maturation phase, the new cells differentiate to form different plant tissues and are utilized for the formation of the mature plant organs. In that, first is phase of cell formation or cell division. The cell in the cell, the meristematic cell at the growing points, the first phase is phase of cell formation or division. In that the first comes meristematic cell. The meristematic cells at the growing point are isodiametric with the dense mass of the protoplasm. These cells are metabolically very active at the time of cell division, and at the time of cell division, during the cell division, cellular mass increases and replication of genetic material occurs. The cell wall divides mitotically and two daughter nuclei formed. Out of these two daughter cells, one remains meristematic and other undergoes several changes to form mature cell. Second phase is phase of cell maturation, cell enlargement. In the phase of cell enlargement, we found that the phase is first followed by first phase, and in this phase enlargement in cell takes place. The cell enlargement takes place by increasing size, by increasing the quantity of the osmotically active substances like absorption of water and development of vacuoles in the system or cytoplasm. So this process is called as vacuolation. A big vacuole develops in the center and it presses the cytoplasm towards the side delimited by the cell wall. Due to this pressure, the cell wall gets stretched and then a new cell wall material is added in the existing material to have a enlarged or to adjust this difference enlarged difference. The cell enlargement due to the vacuolation is governed by osmosis. Second is osmotic pressure. The cell enlargement takes place with this osmotic pressure also. The water uptake and cell enlargement are associated with increased or decreased osmotic pressure. Higher osmotic pressure is responsible for the increase in the turgor pressure. This increase in the turgor pressure creates a pressure on the wall due to which cell wall gets stretched. The stretching is responsible for the creation of new spaces in that region where new cell wall particles are deposited. So this process creates a new spaces in the cell wall, and which is called as cell wall stretching. This cell wall stretching results in the formation of new cell wall, and with the help of some material which is deposited on the cell wall, and in this way A enlargement of cell takes place immediately after first phase of cell division, due to which total area of cell increases. Last phase is of cell maturation or phase of cell maturation. This is a last phase in the process of cell growth. During this phase, due to the histological differentiation changes cell and its in the cell, and it becomes completely matured with all cellular organelles. Some changes during this phase at anatomical and physiological different cells developed from new cells. Later on, these cells form and develop into mature tissues of the plant body. The differentiation and maturation of the cells and formation of the tissues depend on internal as well as external factors like nutrition, hormonal and genetic factors. Second part of this topic is growth curve and grand period of growth. Growth curve is nothing but it is a curve obtained due to the growth takes place in a particular plant part with that with against the time. So growth is a convenient way to summarize growth data and therefore useful for describing and interpreting physiological responses by a plant or organ during a plant particular period in the life cycle. Growth can use data of growth rate in all these structures using one of the parameter like length, size, area, volume or dry weight. Such growth indicates that the growth in plant or plant organ or a cell passes through different phases, and during these phases there is a distinct difference in the rate of growth processes. In case of a cell, during cell formation, growth rate is slow. During cell elongation, growth rate is rapid, and during cell maturation, again the growth rate is slow and steady. But in case of an organ leaf, for first few days the leaf shows very slow increase in the size, followed by fast growing increasing leaf size rapidly, and again when the leaf matures the growth rate becomes very slow and finally stops. So such type of growth is also takes place in plants like herbaceous plants. During its life cycle, dry weight initially decreases, and it remains more or less constant during germination stage, and at it increases very rapidly during vegetative growth stage and finally become dry. Finally the dry weight remains constant or decreases during maturation or senescence phase prior to death of the plant. So so the standard growth curve shows three well marked regions for the three different phases. First is the region where we found slow growth rate or slight decrease represents lag phase. The second region showing the very rapid growth represents the exponential or log or linear phase, while the third phase or third region of the curve showing steady or slightly decrease in growth due to the maturation or senescent phase or steady phase. So, so in this curve, the major period is occupied by a second phase or linear phase, which is called as grand period of growth. The maximum amount of growth is found in this phase. Thank you one and all.